Well, when we think of September 11th, many of us can quickly remember exactly where we were. Some of us remember with vivid detail, and many of us were doing normal, everyday things, going to work or sitting in school or maybe having breakfast.
Well, for a local woman, she will never forget where she was because it was the day her daughter was born, just minutes before everything changed.
My second child was born on September 11th, 2001. That memorable day for all Americans. Leah, my beautiful baby girl, chose to come into this world at 8:40 a.m.
Leah Morosetti reads from a letter that she wrote months after 9/11 when her baby girl was just as old.
I went through the wonderful miracle of giving birth to an angel just as the world was about to change. I was actually scheduled to be induced that day. However, at around 4 or 4:30 in the morning, my water broke. I didn't even get to hold her. Another nurse had walked into the room and said that a plane had hit one of the towers. The focus was more on the television than on mommy and baby.
With the TV on, as Mary remembers it, she was in a daze of embracing her little girl's first moments on this earth while the world was in upheaval.
I remember calling my parents because they had my son. They were taking care of him. And I'm like, when are you gonna come down and see us? I wanna see my son, I wanna see you guys. And my mom's like, you don't understand. They're closing down, downtown Pittsburgh. We can't get to you.
Mary and Leah shared their story as the 20th anniversary of 9/11 approached. Mary recalling some of the frightening, unsettling moments after the attacks.
They took all of us from the maternity ward to the basement. That's at a point where I said, it's time to go home. I want to be with my family.
And for Leah, a beautiful young woman who has grown up knowing the significance of her birthday.
My family always made it a point for me to know the history of what happened. Every year on my birthday, we always sat and watched the video of everything that happened, and they always made it very clear that my birthday was special and I was special and that I'm here and I'm alive and we made it through as a family.
Part of what Leah carries with her is a listening ear. Her birthday is not just a special day, it's a day so many will never forget.
I hear tons of stories from people, bad ones and good ones, of course, some worse than others.
I'm always one that puts my daughter on a pedestal. I think most mothers do. However, I also wanted to let her know there's a lot of people that fight for us. And I don't want her to ever forget that.
In her letter in 2001, written to the troops, thousands of which we know 20 years later did not return home, Mary wrote that she was hoping for a brighter, better tomorrow.
I pray, as many others do, that your motivations are swift and concise, that you may come back home, and you will make us feel secure in our homes again. If you have no one else in your life to fight for Leah, born on a day of trauma for all Americans. She was brought into this world for a reason. I think she is a sign of hope, of future.
Wow, her message to the troops there, it gets you because that's, we're so grateful to them, and you think about the sacrifice that some troops made and just the lives lost on 9/11. It's a lot to think about.
Well, it was a unique perspective about that day because I do think we were all going about our business as usual. None of us expected things to change, and to have that fragile life in your hands, born just moments ago, and know that the world was shaking.
Yeah, such a juxtaposition for her in those moments. Yeah. Thank you for that story, Heather.
Oh.
Well, stay with us with KDKA for stories of remembrance this weekend. Our special 20 years later, Remembering 9/11 will air on CBSN tonight at 8, and then tomorrow at noon and Sunday at 8. You can also find it on Pittsburgh CW this Saturday at 8, and then a replay at 9 p.m.